as they say, 3 is the magic number, and Ben Garner's Addicts have won 3 games on the bounce and are now just 2 points shy of the playoff places. As well as that, we have kept 3 clean sheets in our last 4 and are now 5 unbeaten in the league. Tonight, we return to Fortress Valley, so hopefully, come 10 p.m, we'll be toasting another win. MK Dons are our opponents for tonight, and they have been one of League One's surprise packages so far this season, but sadly for the wrong reasons. MK came oh so close to winning automatic promotion last term, but this time around they are rock bottom of the table. They've lost 5 league games in a row, so what an opportunity for us to keep our good run going. We're live streaming tonight's game worldwide, including the UK and Ireland. And as always, we've got lots coming up before kick-off. We're here exclusively from manager Ben Garner, who spoke to Charlton TV yesterday morning. And on what is University of Greenwich Day, we'll also hear from women's team midfielder Heidi Logan, who is balancing her football with her studies. We'll also hear from goalkeeper Joe Woolacott, who, as I said a moment ago, has kept 3 clean sheets in his last 4 matches. For the 4th time this season, we are going to be streaming worldwide across the UK and in Ireland, and I'm delighted to have your company this evening, alongside that of Alan Curbishley, and a Charlton legend whose son just happens to be making waves here at the Valley this season.
The option across, it's a deep cross to the far post. Leaburn! It's there! Carl Leaburn scores for Charlotte. Walks with the cross. Leaburn with the header. Yes, it's there! Carl Leaburn!
Welcome to Charlton TV, Carl Leaburn. Carl, it is fantastic to have you with us. We will talk about Miles a little bit later on, but first thing first, how are you and how much are you looking forward to tonight's game?
I'm good. Yeah, definitely looking forward to tonight's game. We've had a few good results, so it makes it that bit better. It's a little bit frustrating getting those draws and losses, so they've managed to string a couple of results together, and hopefully they can do the same tonight.
Curbs, 3 wins in a row and a much sought after away victory at the weekend. Confidence must be high in the group, and with 2 back-to-back home games as well, it's an opportunity to stamp a bit of a marker on this division.
Yeah, well, I've been saying all season that if you're going to get in the playoffs, or even better than that, then you've got to have a majority of your results here. And, you know, I think we've got an opportunity this week to lay down a little bit of a marker, and obviously not being too, what's the word?
Complacent?
Yeah, I didn't want, but you know, obviously tonight's game is going to be difficult for all sorts of reasons, mainly MK Dons being down the bottom, but then it will set the weekend up nicely, and we can pit ourselves against another top team, hopefully a decent crowd, decent atmosphere, and see where we are. And if we get the results, well, we know where we are, we'll be in the top 3 or 4. And so the opportunity for everybody over this next 5-6 days is like full on. Can we get 2 results?
Carl, as Curb says there, it's a big opportunity. When you're on a good little run and you're welcoming the team that's bottom of the league, it's really important not to let that sense of complacency creep into play. So again, a good test of discipline tonight for the boys. Yeah,
definite discipline. As you say, they should be full of confidence, and you want to kind of go for the throat, really. But as with these things, don't be sloppy about it. Everything's got to be sharp. You know, you've got to be full of running and the best parts of Charlton's game, and just take the game over, and hopefully you get an early goal to settle any kind of nerves that are there, and yeah, take care of business.
Well, there is one man who will absolutely be demanding 100%, and that is Charlton boss Ben Garner. Charlton TV spoke to him yesterday morning. Let's hear what he had to say.
Ben, 3 wins on a bounce, 2 clean sheets in your last 3 and up to 7th in the table. That sounds good.
Yeah, much better, much more the direction we want to be going, and yeah, pleasing run of form. The important thing is now that we continue it, we don't get complacent, and yeah, we look ahead to Tuesday night.
You said a couple of weeks ago that we always felt the belief was there, but what's been the catalyst for that upturn in results?
I think just the hard work that the players have put in, to be honest. They've been really dedicated on the training ground, and as I said all along, the team spirit has remained, and it's just a matter of time before you turn the corner. So all credit to the players for the way that they've worked and stuck together, and yeah, everyone here wants to move up the table. We've all been desperate to do that and win games, and we're doing that now, and we want to keep doing that.
We completely dominated against Portsmouth in our last home game and did again for large spells at Shrewsbury on Saturday. We also had to absorb some Shrewsbury pressure though at times. How pleasing has it been for you to see us win in different ways?
Yeah, in the second half they only had 2 shots, but it felt like more pressure because of the way they play, and they play for territory so well, and they're direct and they're aggressive, and the way we stood up to that was really pleasing, and I think that's been evident in the last few weeks. You can see now everyone in the group is working for the team and putting a shift in, and that's essential. If we want to be successful, we want to win games in this league, you have to do that. You have to do that. So that's been key, I think, and then the quality and the way we play and the moments that we have in games has been on top of that platform and that basis that that's given us.
MK Dons to come on Tuesday night. They play a very different style to Shrewsbury. How do we go about getting the better of them?
Yeah, MK Dons are a really good side, and regardless of the current league table, you know, a team that were in the playoffs last season. I know they've lost a couple of key players over the summer, but had a lot of recruitment and a really good balance within their squad. They've got some hugely experienced players, but also some really exciting young players within the squad, and they've got an identity and a way of playing, and it's a way that we're going to have to be very good against. We're going to have to be very intelligent with how we press and how we defend. But we also need to attack with good intensity, as we have done in previous home games. And like I said, we need to make sure we're very focused and there's absolutely no complacency in our play.
They've been probably been League One surprise package, but for the wrong reasons this season. Given how well they did last year, as you mentioned, will they potentially arrive at the Valley as a bit of a wounded animal?
Possibly, and I think that's always dangerous when teams are like that. And I mean, I watched their game from Saturday against Wycombe and played well. They played well, they created opportunities against a very difficult side to play against. It was a really good strike for the Wycombe goal from the edge of a box, from a corner. And some of the other games that I've watched, they've been well within the games between the 2 boxes, and it just hasn't quite been falling for them, whereas they haven't quite got the goal going in, or they've let one in at the other end, and it's fine margins. So we'll be preparing in great detail with full respect for MK Dons, and I'm well aware we have to play very well to win the game.
Just finally, our home form has been excellent so far this season. We've got 2 home games to come this week. How important is it we capitalise on those 2 opportunities?
I think it's a great opportunity for us. I think on the back of Saturday, making it 3 from 3, 2 home games. The Valley's been incredible this season. I sense a real bond growing between the players and the supporters now, and vice versa. So 2 fantastic opportunities this week to follow up on our good form. Let's be positive, let's attack both games, and hopefully have a great week.
Thanks, Ben. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great, as always, to hear from Charlton boss Ben Garner, and we do have confirmation of how the Addicts will line up this evening. And gents, there is one change. Sean Clare into the starting 11, Stephen Sessegnon on the bench. Curbs, we've really been emphasising in recent weeks the string of results and the string of clean sheets. An interesting change.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think when Sessegnon come into the club, there was a bit of a worry about his fitness levels, and you know, he's come off in games and whatever. We've got a few players like that, haven't we? And it must be so frustrating, you know, Corey Blackett, Chucks, 1 or 2 others. But Sean Clare's played there before, and I think Ben must be confident that he can go in there and do a job. What I've liked about the team at the moment, with his consistent team selection, they all know what their jobs are. I think Fraser and Dobson definitely know what their jobs are at the moment. And the 2 fullbacks, Sessegnon and Egbo, have been really attack-minded and have got a lot of legs. So add that to our wide men, we are very quick and athletic. I think Sean Clare playing left-back will get forward like we've seen him at right-back, so it shouldn't be too much of a difference. But yeah, consistent team selection again, and you know, that's what I quite like.
And although it's not Sean's natural position. He is incredibly adaptable, and I think perhaps, Carl, in recent weeks there's been a real nice balance in the side on both wings. But one player that perhaps has gone a little bit under the radar, and I want to get your opinion on him as a centre forward, is Charlie Kirk, in terms of that adaptability, how he's supporting Jayden up top and the team as a whole. What do you make of his transition into that role?
I think Jayden sort of needed that support anyway. I know when Miles was playing, or Jayden's playing, they seem to be a bit isolated at times. So that move to put a player up to support, I think that's what works well. And when I've seen Charlton at the best, they have been full of running. Sometimes for me they lack that little bit of quality needed at times, but when they're on their running game and they're on it, you've seen what we can do. We beat Plymouth, we beat Exeter, we get the crowd going, so that's what I'm hoping they'll do tonight.
And Curbs, you made the point about the consistency in the lineup, every player knowing their job, but also we seem to have found a formation now that really suits us.
Yeah, and in this league most teams play 3 in midfield, either it's 3 at the back and 5 across the midfield, so there's 3 midfield players, or 4-3-3. And it's a brave decision. There's not many teams playing 4-4-2. And that's why I've been so pleased with Dobson and Fraser, because the work rate, especially Fraser, we know what Dobson's like. He's all over the place and putting tackles in and breaking stuff up. But Fraser's been putting his foot in, and we didn't see that when he came in we thought that's a number 10. And, but he's been doing a really good job. And I think Kirk, playing wide left, I don't think we'll get enough out of him. Playing wide left, he don't tend to go past full-backs. He cuts inside and crosses it with his right foot. But he's a ball-playing forward. And, for the breakout last week when he played Corey Blackett in, he sees a pass. So playing as a number 10, and all I'd say, if I was Ben, you're playing as a number 10, you've got to make me some goals and score me some goals. That is your role. Apart from helping out in midfield, because we may be overloaded every now and then. But I think a number 10, like when Fraser was playing there, whoever's going to play there, Klaus Jensen if you like, they've got to score some goals and make some goals, because that is why they're in the team. And I think Kirk has got that in him, but certainly to make goals. If anybody nicks a goal tonight, I want it to be him, because I think he just needs a little bit of a lift, especially playing in that position. And if he does manage to get on the end of something, I think you'll see a different Kirk.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually, because I think Ben Garner said that he's had a few one-to-one chats with Charlie Kirk, mentioned that last season was a difficult one for him, transitioning from moving up north down south, and sometimes we forget that for players they have to adjust, they have things going on outside of football. Similarly with Corey Blackett-Taylor, Carl, Ben is a man manager, is getting some good qualities out of these players, and it's not always easy, but we're seeing them thrive out there wherever they're being asked to perform on the pitch. Yeah,
Curbs would probably tell you was part of his job as a manager. You got a squad to look after. They all got different issues, different things to deal with.
Some didn't have a lot.
Well, you get all kind of characters, don't you? You get those that you can just leave alone and just get on with it. And you get those you have to put an arm around, especially if they're going through a tough time. So man management's definitely part of it.
It is indeed. Right, let's turn our attentions now to the table. And as I mentioned earlier, the visitors, MK Dons, are rock bottom, but we're only going to look at the top half and concentrate on ourselves. So let's take a look, shall we? Plymouth still lead the way despite surrendering a 2-goal lead at Bristol Rovers on Saturday, and Ipswich stays second after beating Derby County 1-0 in front of the Sky cameras on Friday night. Peterborough United, Portsmouth and Bolton Wanderers all won at the weekend to consolidate their places in the top 6. And then we are just behind them in 7th. We rose 3 places courtesy of Saturday's win at Shrewsbury. Barnsley in 9th suffered a shock defeat at Morecambe on Saturday, and Wycombe Wanderers returned to the top half at the weekend by winning 1-0 away at our opponents for tonight, MK Dons. And chaps, that table is looking slightly nicer, isn't it, Carl? It certainly looks nicer than it did a week ago.
Definitely. I know it's all quite tight, so those 2 wins have done us the world of good, and a win tonight will do us even better. So and it sets, as Curb said, it sets you up for Saturday. I think we'll always be up for the bigger games, as it were, but. These games, you don't want them to bite you in the so-called backside.
Just looking at the top of the table, we've played most of them sides.
And done well against them
once
as well.
we get Ipswich out of the way, you know, we've played most of them sides in the top. And, you know, to be in the position we're in, just outside it, after an average start, I would imagine, you know, I would put it down as, we've done well now to claw our way back, because we was looking over our shoulder for a little while. But it's amazing, I think Brownie said it the other day off air, that 5 or 6 games in October can change the whole picture. And, you know, these 2 home games coming up, as Ben said in his interview, can't get carried away with waiting for Ipswich, got to sort tonight out. But what a boost it would be. And once again, if it does happen, the 2 results, we're setting a statement here. Here, we've had Plymouth here, we've had this one here, we've had that Portsmouth and whatever, and got the result. So this ain't an easy place to come to.
Carl, I remember speaking to Ben at the start of the month and looking at a really congested, busy fixture schedule and noticing how many games we had at home, trying to create that fortress. It's interesting, isn't it, how much that win has lifted the whole team, and confidence really is just this elixir for the squad.
Yeah, definitely. Players, teams, they'll always tell you that wins and goals, they're going to build that confidence, and the more you can string together, you know, you go out there expecting to win games. As we're saying, we can't take these lightly, but we got to play our game. And as I said, it's going to be hard for them to come here, so let's make them sorry.
And it is a busy evening in League One this evening. There are 11 fixtures taking place. Bolton Wanderers, who are just above us, host Burton Albion. Moss Peterborough and Portsmouth, who are 4th and 5th respectively, both have home games too. Posh take on Accrington Stanley, and Pompey welcome Oxford United to Fratton Park. Elsewhere, Ipswich, who we host on Saturday at the Valley, face a trip to Port Vale. Sheffield Wednesday host Bristol Rovers, and that's going to take place tomorrow night at Hillsborough. Curbs, are there any fixtures standing out there for you?
Not particularly. I'm just looking at us, and I'm hoping Burton do us a favour, because Bolton's the one that we can catch really, and you know, it'd be nice if we get the result and jump into the top 6. But you know, we spoke about October, and it could be a fantastic month for us. We've set it up lovely, now we've got to go and complete it.
And Carl, we are going to focus on tonight, but if we have a little look at Ipswich Town, they've got a long midweek trip to Port Vale. Hopefully that might be useful for us come the weekend.
Yeah, listen, Ipswich, you know, one of the teams sort of favoured to go up, so, you know, myself, I take anything that takes it out of their legs, you know, a long trip, hope they lose. But yeah. Well, hopefully we take care of this, and then we can give them a game on Saturday.
Curbs, a win here tonight would set up the weekend nicely, we all know that, but you know better than anyone just how much the Valley and how much the supporters can make a huge difference.
Well, for whatever reason, it's not been busy, is it? The fans, the last couple of home games, you know, there was a perfect storm last week with the protesters on the Dartford Bridge and everything else going on. And then we had a live game as well, Sky doing a Portsmouth game, and the fans that haven't come have missed 2 really good performances and goals, and hopefully that has spurred them on to come tonight, if not tonight then on Saturday, and really get behind the team. Ben spoke about the atmosphere, but he ain't really heard one yet, you know, when it's rocking here, and that's what we need. If the team can get in the top 6 and the fans start coming back, then this will be a totally different place, and this will be difficult for teams to come and take points. You know, when I was here, I had managers sort of said, you know, not only was it difficult getting in the ground, you know, because they'd come in their coach the wrong way and have to sort of turn around and whatever, it was difficult when they got out there. And, you know, we haven't had that here for a little while, so this next 4 or 5 days could turn that around. And as I say, listen, we've all been down the bottom. It ain't nice. MK Dons ain't looking forward to this, and we've got to make sure by the start that they ain't looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Right, let's take a little pause at looking at tonight's game to bring you some updates from around the club. And as always, we'll start with ticketing news. We'd like to inform fans who may have missed the news last week that our upcoming home fixture against Charlton Town has been moved to Friday, December the 2nd, and will now kick off at 7:45 p.m. The fixture, which of course falls on a very special weekend for the club, has been moved so that it does not clash with a potential England fixture during the FIFA World Cup. Tickets for the match are on sale now, and they are priced at £19.92 for adults, over 65s and under 21s, and just £7 for all other concessions. That pricing is of course very significant, with the £19.92 representing the year we returned home, and 7 being the minute of Colin Walsh's famous goal. What's more, if you're a season ticket holder, then you'll be able to bring a friend to the game for free. Anyone who has already purchased a ticket for the match should note that it will be valid for the updated date. To purchase your tickets or to redeem your free ticket for a friend, please visit booking.cafc.co.uk. The move to Friday night also means that we can live stream the game in the UK and everywhere else in the world. Staying with ticketing, we'd like to remind fans that they can make even further savings on the cost of match tickets by purchasing an Addicts free pack. The pack enables you to make one purchase and then select 3 home league fixtures that you would like to attend between now and Boxing Day. You don't have to select all 3 games at the time of your purchase. You can choose your games as and when you want to, and what's more, you will save £10 on the cost of purchasing 3 individual tickets. Our next home game, of course, comes this Saturday against one of the league's front runners in Ipswich Town. To purchase your Addicts free pack, please head to that website, booking.cafc.co.uk. And lastly, on ticketing, we would like to encourage all Charlton supporters to head down to the Oakwood on Sunday the 30th of October to support the Addicts women's team. They take on Bristol City in the Barclays Women's Championship, with the match kicking off at 2 p.m. Bristol City are the division's league leaders at present, and they are currently unbeaten, so it is sure to be a tough test for Karen Hills's side. You can get your tickets in advance from booking.cafc.co.uk, or you can purchase from the turnstiles on game day itself. What's more, if your child attends in their grassroots football kit, then they can gain entry for just £1. And if you're currently watching tonight's pre-show on social media, then please make sure that you're listening carefully to this. We are streaming tonight's game live all over the world, so make sure you get your match pass now for just £10. The preview show will end on social media at kickoff, but if you purchase a live stream match pass and are watching on Charlton TV, then you can enjoy it, the rest of the preview show, the whole game, and all of our half-time and post-match analysis. It's well worth it, I can promise you that. You can get your pass by heading to www.cafc.co.uk now. Right now, I'm extra pleased about this. The Crossbeer Challenge is back tonight. So far this season, under-21s midfielder Jason Adigan and former addict Kevin Lisby have tried but been rather unsuccessful from the halfway line. James Goodwin from the University of Greenwich will be taking part tonight, and if he hits the crossbar, everyone inside the Valley this evening who is over the age of 18 will get a free beer when we play Cheltenham Town here at the Valley in December. James is the captain of the University of Greenwich's men's first team, and he is also a massive Charlton fan. We wish him the very best of luck. Finally, we would like to extend our congratulations to youngsters Matt Dench and Ewan Williams, who were both presented with their international debut shirts at the training ground this week. Dench made his bow for Australia's under-21s back in September during a 4-game tournament that saw them come up against England, Chile and Morocco, whilst Williams made his bow for Northern Ireland under-21s against Scotland in the same month. Keep up the good work, lads. Right, as we mentioned earlier, today is our dedicated University of Greenwich game, and earlier in the week Charlton TV caught up with Addicts midfielder Heidi Logan. Now Heidi not only plays in midfield for Charlton, but she's also studying for her degree at the university, benefiting from the partnership hugely. Let's hear from Heidi now.
I try and keep on top of the work, and I think by doing that I'm able to enjoy both aspects of doing the degree and obviously training but training always comes first, and then uni second. And my degree is in sport and exercise science, and I think this is obviously a lot is linked to what we do at football. So we learn about GPS, just general physiology of just like the body and stuff. And I think I can link that well with my performance and nutrition and things. So I did that degree because I think there's a lot of avenues to go into, and it closely links with obviously what we do at football. I think especially in women's football, like obviously the wage isn't there compared to the men's, and I think it's important to always have a backup plan. And I knew this when I ruptured my ACL, because like it can just end like that, your career, or you can just get an injury and then be like a bit lost and think like, what if, you know what I mean, like you need a backup plan. I just enjoy bettering myself, to be fair. I just hate sitting back and not doing anything. I'm kind of a person that likes to just better myself in everything that I do, so yeah, I just enjoy learning new things, really. The process has been really good because like the uni are really closely linked to Charlton, so I can just finish training and go to uni right around the corner. And I think that the uni have been really good in welcoming me and just like getting the process going, really, how they approach me to get to the uni and everything. So yeah, it's good.
Great to hear from Heidi there, always wanting to better herself both on and off the pitch, which is brilliant to hear. And Carl, it's a dream, isn't it, to be the professional footballer, but it doesn't always work out that way for young professionals. How important is it, do you think, that they continue to have a backup and perhaps continue their education as much as possible?
Definitely. You know, with my own son, Miles, you know, me and his mum are always banging on to him about, you know, anything can happen. You know, he's got an injury now, but we always talk about having some type of education behind you, you know, just in case things don't happen. So yeah, it's doubly important, doubly.
And also, Curbs, there's something to be said about the balance of a professional footballer's life. Of course, they're always going to be focused on the competitive game at hand, but actually having hobbies and other interests that they pursue outside of football, I imagine can be quite constructive.
Yeah, because there's lots of talk now about mental health, and you know, footballers don't escape that, especially when they've got injuries or they're not playing so well, or they're worried about their future, you know, contracts coming up, etc. Yeah, so to have something else going on in their lives, I think the academies, especially in the Premier League, do now cater for that extra education, that if a player doesn't make it, they've got something to fall back on. And I think it's compulsory that they do their schooling, whereas when we was coming up it wasn't, and you know, be all and end all making yourself a footballer or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely a move for the best.
Yeah, it's important to create well-rounded footballers, but also well-rounded human beings and personalities as well. Right, we're going to stay on the subject of the University of Greenwich and head pitch side now, because our very own James Sherwood has been speaking to Professor Jane Harrington.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, and I must say I'm delighted to be joined on our University of Greenwich Partnership Day by Professor Jane Harrington. Jane, it's great to have you here. We've been talking a little bit off camera, haven't we? And I'm glad that you're here because you're kind of like a good omen for today. Are you excited to be here at the Valley this evening?
Oh, I'm really excited. I love coming to the Valley, and I can't wait to see us win again.
So when were you last here, just so the people at home know why you're the good omen?
Well, I was here for the Plymouth match.
There we go. Yeah. So Plymouth 5-1 at home. That is a good omen, definitely, for the lads out on the pitch this evening. But you aren't the only representative from the University of Greenwich this evening. You've got 200 other ambassadors in the stand. Tell us a little bit about who's going to be here with us at the Valley this evening, and what's the atmosphere on campus been like about them coming?
Yeah. Well, as you can imagine, there's a real buzz. It's fantastic. I mean, it's our partnership day, so we're celebrating our wonderful partnership with Charlton Club and Trust. And what that means is we've got students here, we've got partners here, we've got alumni here, and they're all just waiting for the Addicts to win.
Brilliant stuff. Another 3 points in the bag. So, of course, the University of Greenwich and Charlton Athletics signed another multi-year deal this summer. It takes the partnership to over 10 years now. Why do you think it's been such a special partnership between the club and the university?
I think there's lots of reasons for that, but one of them is that it is a genuine partnership of shared values. So, we do so many things together. Our students come and film for every match. They're here filming. We have students working on the sites all the time. And the way that the community works with us, as well as we work out with the trust outside, it's been absolutely fabulous, and I can't really overestimate how great that's been.
And of course, we can't forget as well, we are neighbours over by the Avery Hill campus, right? Has that always been quite exciting for the students to be so close to professional football teams and players?
No, I think it's really inspirational for them because they actually see professional football teams training, and they aspire to do that, and then they get ideas of other things that they can do, and hopefully it works the other way round as well.
Well, you mentioned some individuals have come and been involved with the club as part of this partnership. How important has that been for their personal development into a whole host of different careers?
Yeah, it's hugely important because obviously we've got lots of young people who are first in family into university. So for them it gives them real, genuine employment opportunities. It also gives them confidence. It gives them things to put on their CVs, and it means that they have paid work while they're studying, which for many students is really, really important. So I can't tell you how grateful we are for that. And also, what I have forgotten to say about, we're really proud that we're on the kit, both the community and the club. There you go.
There we go. On the back, I'm sporting it, and of course the players will be this evening against MK Dons as well.
Absolutely.
Before you leave though, Jane, I've got to talk to you a little bit as well about a special University of Greenwich stamp that's going on our pies here this evening. I understand that Sir Alan Curbishley, as we know him here at Charlton, is going to be up in the TV studio sampling these pies. Tell us a little more.
Well, I've got an amazing team who are always thinking of new ideas. They're always saying, how can we really help, the club and the trust and all the people that come and support it to actually recognise our partnership. And they had this brilliant idea to put the logo on the pies. And I want to sample them myself. Have you sampled them?
I haven't yet, but I'm hoping that some of them can make it from the TV studio down to myself and Brian Cole pitchside this evening. Before I let you go as well, prediction for this evening, Charlton versus MK Dons, please.
Right, well, I have been here now on numerous occasions and I've only ever seen Charlton win.
Hey, that is what we like to hear.
Absolutely.
Got a score for us?
So I have 3-0.
We love it there. Professor Jane Harrington from the University of Greenwich, thank you so much. I'll hand back over now to Charlotte and the boys up in the studio. And as I said, guys, make sure you get some of those pies down to me and Brian at least by half-time, please.
Curbs said it there, James. Sorry, no chance. Curbs, Carl have got their pies. I'm in the queue next. Okay, I mean, look at that. We'll have to get an update at half-time from you both about how they taste, but they certainly look brilliant and wonderful that our partnership with the University of Greenwich is growing from strength to strength.
Edible as well.
It's an edible partnership. Absolutely brilliant. Carl, it is wonderful to have you here, and of course I have to check in and see how Miles is. Obviously, I saw him recently with the boot on. How is he?
Yeah, he's obviously a little bit gutted because he was sort of getting right into it. He's going to be out possibly a month or so. He rolled his ankle at the time, but I spoke to him before about unfortunately injuries are part of football. So he's just going to have to make sure he comes back bigger, badder, fitter, and gets on it again.
I've yet to have the pleasure of interviewing him, but I see the way that he conducts himself on the pitch, off the pitch. He's got a degree of maturity about him for 18 years old, and this is perhaps potentially the biggest setback of his career, but who better to kind of have a chat with than you, who's been there and done it and can offer some words of wisdom and support?
Yeah, no, he's had his sort of little injuries and so forth coming through the academy and everything, but he talks about it's obviously different in the first team, different demands and everything. So as you said, this is the first sort of setback because he's done everything that needs to have been done from the start of the season. So obviously me and his mum are very proud of him, and hopefully he's just got to carry it on now.
Yeah, as you should be, and please pass our best wishes on to him. And Curbs, you've had the opportunity to see Miles in action, and you sure know what Carl brought to his game. What similarities do you see between the two?
Well, when I can't remember where the goal was, but when he climbed above the fullback and battered him away from home.
Yes.
Where was that at?
That was at
Eccleton,
Fleet, was it
somewhere
Fleet?
like that.
Oh, okay. We've got some. We've certainly got one. Let's have a little look at
But
it
what
now.
I noticed with Carlo's goals in the preview, a lot of crosses went in, didn't they? A lot of crosses went in, and perhaps now, where football's changed a little bit, it's much more backwards and square. Get the ball in the box when you've got a Leaburn in there.
Get the ball in the box, indeed. So let's have a little look at a comparison recently.
Oh, this might be it then, mate.
Yeah, I think this is the goal you're talking about, Curbs, and from Fleetwood a few weeks ago. I mean,
Accrington.
let's have a little look at it. Firstly,
The back
at
heel.
yours, Carl.
There's a back heel here, isn't it? Yeah.
An important goal as well, making a real impact.
Yeah.
And Carl, watching those two goals side by side, I just wondered how you think the game has changed for young players to break into. We kind of mentioned the physicality and demands of League One. What differences do you see in how the game's evolved, if any?
In terms of youngsters getting their chance, it's always been the same at Charlton. You know, to be honest, because they have to have players coming through. And as Curb said, it's probably a little less throwing the ball in the box. It's more.
I'd be frustrated if I was a centre forward now.
Yeah.
Because
Fullbacks coming inside.
Yeah, because of the possession base. So, you know, I'd be a bit frustrated because you've got a long time without getting a touch, and then he comes into you and it's not a good touch. Then you go another 5 minutes, couldn't you?
Yeah. So that's what I do notice. It has changed, especially when Miles is 6'5", so I'm here on the side sometimes saying, get the ball in, because I know I was shouting at people to get the ball in when I was getting in the box, and you know, because as a striker that's all. That's one of the ways you're going to get goals. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, let's turn our attentions now to the other end of the pitch, where Charlton goalkeeper Joe Walcott has kept 3 clean sheets in 4 matches, and with the World Cup shortly coming, he will be representing Ghana, so plenty to look forward to for the Addicks stop shotter, who has spoken to Charlton TV. He had a catch up with them yesterday morning.
Jojo, let's start with Charlton stuff. 3 wins on the bounce, 3 clean sheets in 4. It must feel pretty good being Charlton's #1 at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's long overdue. I think for the Exeter game, I think we're just all a bit frustrated with the way results went. I think the lads knew that it was coming, but now we've got this form going, we just want to take it into Tuesday and continue it for as long as we can.
Before we got that first win again, the Exeter game, we had the clean sheet up at Lincoln. How pleasing was that for you, as not just you as a goalkeeper, but a defensive unit?
Yeah, I think defensively a clean sheet's always the foundation. I think if you don't let the other team score, then you're increasing your likelihood to win the game. So yeah, it's always nice to get a clean sheet, it's a bonus, but ideally we want to win the game and get 3 points.
And in the last few games, it's been a very settled back 5, hasn't it, including you? How much of a difference does that make?
It does make a difference, but I think all the lads everyone knows what their jobs are, and I think if everyone's consistent and everyone does their jobs right, it makes it a lot easier for everyone collectively. So no, yeah, it has made a difference, but we just look to keep building.
And up next, MK Dons, a side who did brilliantly last year but are really struggling this year. I mean, how do we prepare for that one? And given the form we're in, does sort of our mentality become more important?
I think we prepare for it like every other game. I think in this league it's quite difficult against anything because you never know, like someone might turn up on a day, and so I think we just have to treat it like every other game, not get complacent with ourselves just because we've won a few games. So yeah, I'm sure the lads will be ready.
MK Tuesday, as we say, then Ipswich on Saturday, and then our league campaign sort of winds down a little bit, but your football campaign then ramps up even more. We've got the World Cup to come with Ghana. How much are you looking forward to that?
Well, I'm focusing on the games coming up first. I'll worry about that after. Yeah, we know Saturday's a big game against Ipswich, but after that it's the 2 cup games from Brighton and then Colville. So yeah, we'll just take it one game at a time, concentrate on those first, and then we'll see what happens after.
I'll take your word for it in that you are concentrating on these games first, but how difficult is it to try and not think about the World Cup at the moment?
It's there in the back of my mind, but I mean, I'm just focused on the upcoming games. I don't look too far ahead. Just have to wait until the time comes, and then I'll deal with that hurdle.
I'm going to ask you one more question about the World Cup though, but a tough group for Ghana, South Korea, Portugal and Uruguay, which has added significance. Although you're not thinking about it, you must be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, when the time gets closer, I'll make sure my preparations are ready for that first game. So yeah, I do look forward to it.
And just lastly on the World Cup, it's obviously going to be a very proud moment for you, and you just said off camera your family are going to be out there as well. And great for us as well as a club in Charlton in having a representative out there. It's obviously going to be a proud time for you.
Yeah, definitely. I still pinch myself even thinking about it. I said it in my first interview, but something you've always dreamed of when you're a little kid. So to go and actually live that dream is, I mean, just gonna have to go there and just be in the moment and just let everything take its natural course.
No more questions about the World Cup, and all the best against MK Dons.
Thank you.
I think we saw a little smile creep in on Jojo's face there, and why not? Every footballer's dream to represent their country at the World Cup. And chaps, how impressed have you been with Jojo's performances in between the sticks?
Yeah, no, he came in new, and I think, as he said there, well, as Curb said, it was a bit of a slow start where we were letting in silly goals. And as he said, I think the foundation of any successful team is a good defence and clean sheets and a good goalkeeper. So I think he's saying he wants to get on that trip, and you know, as well as scoring goals, they want clean sheets, because clean sheets are like goals and the confidence goes up as well. So you know, I think he's still to bed in a bit. I've seen him make some great saves, I've seen him make some mistakes, so he's still settling in really, and as I said, it's very important for us to go on a little run to help the confidence.
And Curbs, it's fantastic for us to see a player go out and get international appearances, represent their country, but also it's going to be a challenge as well, because he is building up some form and we don't really want to lose him.
Absolutely, but you know, you can't odds it. What I like about him, he comes across as everyone knows he's coming. He does command that 6-yard box. I was a bit surprised when he came in, because I thought McGilroy done okay last year, but Ben's obviously worked with him, and that's a big plus when you work with someone. So yeah, no problem bringing him in, and he's paid Ben back. He's been excellent so far.
Right, well, as we are closing into kick-off, let's have a little look at how both teams will line up this evening. Of course, it is just the one change for Charlton. Sean Clare slotting in place of Stephen Sessegnon, and one change for MK Dons as well. Chaps, your final thoughts before we hand over to our commentary team?
Obviously, it can be a big banana skin where MK Dons are, but I've got no doubts that we're going to get the result.
Yeah, just don't give them anything to play for, really. You know, the last game here against Portsmouth, we literally was on to Portsmouth, we strangled them. So you want the same type of performance tonight. We
certainly do want the same type of performance, please, lads. Right, without further ado, I think it's time that we hand over to this evening's commentary team of Terry Smith, Greg Stubley and Steve Brown.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Curbs. Good to see Carlo in the studio as well. And you're very welcome to the Valley, everybody. And alongside me, Stevie Brown. Steve, as a seasoned campaigner of many games under your belt, you're looking at this game against a team that are rock bottom, thinking,